All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. We've got River Daz on the show today.
Hello, how
One
you
of
going?
Australia's best up-and-comers. How are you, man?
Thank you, man. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
all right.
for having me, man.
Mate, thank you for coming. I know you must be busy with your preparations and training under Hammer.
Yeah, like
He must have you on a pretty rigorous schedule.
Nah, it's more like I try and keep myself on a rigorous scale. But yeah, he's always on my tail because I kind of drift off all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been good, being part of Glory now. I'm just thinking about it now. I'm kind of over the moon. Just,
man.
Like overlooking this whole year.
When did you get signed to Glory?
I got signed August last year.
Last year.
With a 6-fight contract with them.
Wow.
Yeah. And
How does it feel to be a part of the biggest kickboxing promotion in the world?
Yeah, like
Going from the local scene in Australia to like being flown all over the world, and
it's surreal, to be honest. Like I can't explain it. Like I used to have like a goal book.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it a goal book. I'd just write down my goals and then I put it in the cupboard and never look at it ever again. I was like, oh no, every like 6 months I would write down the same goals. So my first goal was like UFC belt. Yeah, that was like, I think that's every fighter's dream.
Yeah,
I want the belt, right? And then after that, it was the Glory belt. Like Glory was always something that I always wanted to do, and I would just write it down. Every time I'd write down my goals, it would just be like, okay, UFC, Glory. Then after that, it'd be like almost like a stepping stone of where I wanted to get to. So then underneath that was like Australian title. I wanted to be part of a 4-man or just win a fight. I just wanted to have like a 10-win fight streak, something like that.
do you have any grappling pedigree at all?
Me, I used to do BJJ. I don't want to like boast, but I'm a 2-stripe white belt.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was
dangerous, bro.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I think I was always interested in it. I think now, thinking about it now, if I wanted to move into MMA, one thing that's holding me back is that I can't be like those guys that just sit on the mat in the BJJ room and just talk about technique and just sit there and like
Is that
ponder.
how it goes in a BJJ dojo?
Well, like that's what I like every time, because the classes next to me is just like BJJ, and like I remember like even just being a part of it. Sometimes like after class, you just sit there for an hour and they'll just talk about technique, try this, try that, and for me, I'd give that a shot. But I could always do that with boxing, or I could always do that with Muay Thai. I'll go 20 rounds, no doubt. Like I'll just do it. Like I'll watch a Canelo fight and just like watch him, critique him, be like, oh, I like that move, I can do that. But I can't do that with BJJ or wrestling. And it's the passion is what drives me the most. And if I'm not wholeheartedly into it, I just won't give myself.
It would take you hours of strategizing on the mat, and
yeah.
apparently the BJJ guys, they love smoking weed as well.
They just want to chill out. They do this, right? And then they just think like Joe Rogan. Like I listen to Joe Rogan podcast, and all he ever does is just like he goes through like rants and rants of just what moves he wants to do and how high level like the BJJ level. And I'd love to be about all of that, but I'm just a striker for heart. So if I were to take that level, if I were to move into that avenue, I think like a big scale. Aside from kickboxing, take that next step. I think instead of UFC, I'd probably move into boxing, or just make it as far as I can in the kickboxing league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty big, man. Like the Glory is a massive organization. When you see like Rico Verhoeven versus Badahari, like that is attracting massive crowds.
That's it.
And it might not be the mainstream UFC crowd, but there's like the Dutch, for example, are massive into kickboxing, and the Russians, and then obviously in Asia, they're really into it as well.
Of course.
But like Western world is more UFC and boxing, and then that's why probably there's so much money in it.
That's it. Like especially Rico. I think Rico's like, it was like an idol of mine because I've always wanted a Porsche. That was like another. It was just another thing that I always wanted. It was like on my goal list. I'm like, okay, what's my dream car? It was a Porsche Spider. So I was at my first international fight, online fight in Las Vegas. We were at the Mayweather gym, and then this dude just rocked up. It was like, I don't want to say that like money attracts me, but this guy rolled up in his training bag, tracksuit and everything, but in a Porsche Spider. I'm like, who the hell is that dude? I want to be that dude. So since then, that was always my dream car. I'm like, there's a person that's doing the sport that's driving what I want to drive. So
have you met Rico Verhoeven?
No, I haven't met him, but he had a Porsche sponsorship deal. I'm like, that's where I want to be.
That's cool,
You know what I mean?
And that Badahari fight was so disappointing.
Yeah, right.
Did you see beforehand, like when they were about to fight, and then all Badahari's fans like tried to storm the ring?
Really? No, I didn't see that.
Standing up on the ring, just like outside, about to storm the ring.
I can't wait. Like,
because he's half Dutch and then half
Moroccan. Yeah.
And then all of these Moroccan fans were just going.
Yeah, I think mental. the next year at the end of the year, like Hammer and I were thinking, like, fuck, what if we get on that? Like that would be crazy. Because I think it's like the stadium, ISS Dome, holds like I think 20,000 people.
Really?
And they said they usually pack it out when Rico's fighting. So yeah.
Those guys are like cult heroes over there. Hey?
Yeah, I know.
Do you hear a lot about them?
I hear a lot about Bada, Rico, and all the Dutch Moroccan fighters. They, especially being part of the Glory promotion, they build them up a lot.
Yeah.
But after being a part of all of it, like I always put, every time I watch people on TV and stuff, I'm like, they're on just another level. And then after being part of it, my debut, being real nervous and actually seeing what it was all about, I don't think Australian Muay Thai or kickboxing is that far off. I find that, I always had them on such a large scale that, oh shit, do I belong here? And then after my first fight, I was like, okay, there's not that much of a tweak or a difference. The level's not that far different from here. Like all the fighters, which I'm really happy for everyone in Australia, getting all those massive deals now with One or Lion Fight, like Ramesh. It's finally being even like, it's finally we're able to show what Australia's talent's got, and it's not classified as we're too far away now for all these big deals. And then collectively, it's just only making Australian Muay Thai, Australian kickboxing a lot better.
Right.
So how's it going? But when being surrounded by all these Dutch fighters, where I used to put them on such a high level, they're just other people, like normal people with 2 arms, 2 legs, just doing exactly what I'm doing.
And then if you look at the Australian lineage of kickboxers and stuff, we have had some pretty good kickboxers, lots of world champions. Muay Thai fighters, we've had a few world champions as well.
Yeah, and I really like our generation now, like who was it, Kenny Z, Chris Nguyen, all the Riddler's boys, all getting all these big deals and then actually doing extremely well, on the scene. And
you've won your first 2 Glory fights as well. And once you get to that level of kickboxing, there are no easy fights.
Yeah.
You don't face a journeyman on the way. You face another up and comer.
That's it.
Another one who's doing well. You're now 25 and 1 draw, right?
That's it. 26
and 1 pro fights.
Yeah.
Man, you like to win those first 2 fights is a massive step for you.
Yeah, like I found the first one, of course, I was nervous. It was a southpaw, but it was really just understanding the caliber, and then also just a big realization for myself that, hey, look, I belong here. Like I know I can do this now. And then I think people really saw that in my second fight. I felt so comfortable. I felt like I could really just show who I was or what I was capable of. But I think I always like pick it in. I can always just find something else that I can work on. And I found with my second fight, comparing it to my first one, I was looking for the head. I was like trying to outbox him too much. And I found, thinking about the fights, I used to be very boxing dominant in Muay Thai, and I think my hands were, especially my jab, was really good for the Australian scene, because in Muay Thai, once you start to box or you think they've got better boxing, they just out-clinch you, right? But they don't do that in kickboxing, where as soon as you try to box them, they just close up even more. And then I thought my progress was, okay, I should then continue to work on my boxing to make them better. I didn't realize until the next fight that maybe it's like taking the opposite route now and continue to use my kicks. Like I'm still a good kicker, but I was always trying to finish my opponents with my hands. And I think that's where it's even now with Glory Kickboxing, where everyone's very proficient with their hands, but no one can kick as well as I can, or no one can kick as like a Muay Thai stylist. And like every like Petch, City Chai, they're all kickers. all Muay Thai, and they're all just out kicking everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my route later down the track, like for my next fight and the fights after.
So we can expect to see some more volume of kicks, because I thought you still threw quite a lot in your last fight.
Yeah, like I've always been a high volume fighter, but I found that I'm always using my hands to set up most of my big shots. Right. And I think now it should be okay. Let's go back to sitting back, massive round kicks. I think a good push kick. Show like what real Muay Thai is about in a kickboxing scene, because I think that's a area where I think that I can really tap into and really make it my own.
And get an advantage as well.
That's it. It's all about just trying to make sure I can perfect what I'm really good at, work on my weaknesses, and then go forward with that.
So speaking about your last fight, for those of you who didn't watch it, it was in Dusseldorf, hard to pronounce these German names, in Germany. It's on YouTube for anyone who wants to go and watch it. Man, the thing that I was blown away by was the fact that you came out there and you had a smile from ear to ear. You looked like you were so happy to be there. I've never seen some man so happy to be about to go into war in my life. And the thing that really just stood out to me was like, you looked like you belonged. You got in there, you had a game plan, you were throwing volume, you were outpacing your opponent. You looked like you had better stamina than your opponent and also better skills. No disrespect to your opponent or anything, but it was quite a dominant performance.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. That's cool.
No worries.
Like I said, like after the first fight with Fosciani, it's like, okay, I'm walking onto Glory. This is a dream of mine that I've always wanted, I always wanted to do. I told you, I wrote this in my book. This is where I want to be. And then it was like, it hit me in the face. I'm like, fuck, do I actually belong here? Then after that, after realizing, not even just having that split decision win, because I knew I didn't perform to the best that I could have, but I knew from then on, okay, this isn't that far of a dream. That Glory belt is attainable. I know I can do this. And then after watching more and more Glory fights, I was looking at it and I've gone, I don't think the caliber is what I thought it would be. And I'm not trying to burst myself up or to make myself any better than I am, but I'm just looking and I'm like, it's just not as big as I thought it was. So walking into that fight, I really just made it my own. I felt very comfortable in a sense. I was very, just
you felt like you belonged
relaxed.
there.
I felt like I belonged there. I was more expressive in a sense where I was talking to everyone, like promotion-wise. I was talking to everyone who was a part of the team of Glory. I was like networking a lot better. I was a lot more confident within myself, and it showed when I was fighting. I'm like, I really feel like I belong here now. There's nothing stopping me from going as far as I can.
I mean, you're training with Hammer, who's an absolute legend of Australian combat sports. He is the man. I've had him on the podcast before. He's a great guy.
He's the man.
But also his knowledge and his skills, and I think his people skills as well.
Yes.
When I look at your relationship with Hammer,
yes.
Because obviously I follow you guys on Insta, like a stalker.
Yeah. I need more of them. More followers, please. Anyway,
get on it. Hari River Daz, Instagram.
That's it.
But when I follow you guys, I think that you have like a really great relationship.
Yeah.
He seems to understand you. You guys go and have fun in Dusseldorf in Germany. You guys would look like you were definitely having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Does that play a part in it, having that really good relationship with your coach and being able to bounce ideas off?
Yeah. It's massive. It's massive. I found, so I started with Hammer in 2010 at his gym, and he's been more of like a father figure, like another mentor. And it was that through that period. So even before I was fighting, I looked up to him, and he was already helping me, teaching me to be who I am today.
And he's basically taken you from beginner level to now.
Yeah, and I think that's a rarity, not so much just loyalty, but it's a rarity to have such a relationship. I would really call us brothers in a sense where we can speak eye to eye. We can talk like not even just all about the good stuff and all just about work, but also have those heart-to-heart conversations when I'm like feeling down. He's someone that I can really look up to. And that plays a massive role being a cornerman, or just let's say work, where he helps me with everything that I'm doing work-wise. That may be fighting, that may be the PT stuff, just mentoring me, like just showing great life skills. But we already had that bond before moving into fighting, I would say. Like as a father figure, like I'd just run around. Like I'd always make a mess of the gym. You know, I think what's built our relationship so much is like I always try and push the boundaries of how far I can like piss him off, basically. But with that,
I wouldn't want to piss him off.
Yeah, I know. See, that's me. I just like to push his buttons. But yeah, over the last couple of years, our relationship continues to grow with each fight. But even especially the traveling, just being with each other for the last for a whole week and just like seeing the world together. Yeah, I think it's just made our relationship a lot stronger. And it's almost like a rarity. You don't really see that. You see sometimes when a fighter loses, that they always blame their corner first, and they always blame their gym, and then they move off to other gyms, and that solves all problems. I found that's not great to form a good relationship. Like if you did that with your missus, like every time you'd fight and break up, I think that just ruin your relationship. You know what I mean?
That's probably what ruins most relationships.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like, nah, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he used to take me home when I was younger. He used to take me home. He'd take me home from the gym. It'd take me take me 2 buses and a train to get to the gym. And he used to take me home. Fucking realized that I'd lived so far away. I think that's when you realize how hard I worked or how much I enjoyed it. And that's where it came. It was more like a father-son relationship to begin with. And now we see each other eye to eye. Like we nitpick, we work on each other. Like, hey, look, this could probably work better for me in the gym or etc. And then it became not so much father-son relationship, more so like brother type of thing. You know what I mean? Right. Like, hey, I've got
very open, honest.
Very open, honest. I think this sometimes like I pick at him. I'm like, hey, maybe you could have done this differently, and then he most definitely picks on me. Like, but I think that's probably he helps me the most in the corner, where he knows exactly what to say to me at the exact same time. Like I always compare him. Do you know Teddy Atlas?
Yeah,
boxing?
Of
course. Yeah. He's like the Teddy Atlas of Muay Thai in Australia.
Yeah.
He always like.
I'd agree with that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's the most knowledgeable man. He knows everything that you need to know. He knows all the fighters in Australia, and he knows everyone, right? But then he also knows what to say at the exact same time, exact right time, in the corner, for like the first 30 seconds.
Can I interject? Yeah. So in your last fight, I saw just before the last round, he had you, and he was saying, "Do you want to be?" What was he saying?
He was just like, "Hey,
he was giving you the biggest pump up speech ever."
Yeah, it was like, "You want to be here? Do you want to be here? You said you want to be. You worked hard to be here. Fucking show everyone that you want to be here." I'm going, okay, let's do this. But I get those talks like all the time. Like I go back to him, and sometimes in the corners, I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm still nervous." He's like, "Why the fuck are you nervous, dude? You smashed him in the first round." I'm like, "I don't know, I'm still nervous." He's like, "Shut the fuck up. Listen to me and go out there and go knock him out." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. But like, he has those talks. We always call it the 3rd round talk, because if he knows exactly what to say to you at the right time to make sure you give out everything you got. Give you all, basically. But you wouldn't be able to do that as a trainer to your fighter if only you had a good, strong relationship with them. So, you know, and that's what we have. And
that's awesome.
We're seeing the world together now.
Yeah, that's so cool. So the first one was it in Orlando?
No, the first one was in France.
France.
I don't
know where I got Orlando from.
I was meant to fight in Orlando.
Yeah. That's right, because I think I was reading an SBS thing
a
while ago, and you were meant to fight your first one in
Orlando, and then we had heaps of visa issues because we couldn't explain to them that I was an international recognized fighter. I was just a domestic level fighter. So America is very big on, why should we give an opportunity to you, a person who they called me an alien, for the sense that I wasn't born in America.
It's a Donald Trump thing, bro.
Yeah, they called me an alien. But anyway, they said, why should we give money to an alien when we can give it to an American? I'm like, well, you can't be a Filipino born in Australia and fighting in America. There's only one of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we couldn't prove that to the
terms
embassy.
Like that is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like all like the real like jargony terms, like illegal aliens.
Yeah. It's just very strange. I'm like, well, there's only me. There's only one me. So you can't get another person who's American to be me. But they just didn't prove that. So we've had to fight all over the world. Like, look at me, my first world problems. Like, oh no, we can't send you to Orlando, so we're gonna send you to Germany. Sure, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But
so France was the first one.
France was the first one, and then Germany the next one, and then I have one in China, December 7th.
Ooh,
yeah,
big news.
Yeah, jumping over. It's even bigger. I'm in a 4-man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm in a 4-man against a Japanese and 2 Chinese players.
Players.
Yeah, just
player one.
Chess. Yeah, sorry, but 2 Chinese fighters. It's going to be a massive show. Who is it? Murat Grigorian's fighting main event, and then another fighter that I'm really interested in is Josh Johnsey. But I'm looking to win this 4-man especially. And my goal for this year was to make top 10. And I'm thinking that's probably attainable now. If I win this 4-man, I'll make top 10 in Glory, and then aim for top 5 next year. It was meant to be next year. I was aiming for top 10, but if I win this 4-man, then straight to top 10, aim for top 5, and let's go for that belt by the end of the year. That's what I'm saying.
How does the contract work there? So you got 6 fights. So if you win this 4-man, you'll have 2 fights. Will that be 2 fights, or that be 1 fight?
It'll be 2 fights on my contract. So what it says, I have 6 fights. And then I have the exclusion of 2 more fights. So I'm assuming they're for 4-mans.
Okay.
So I have a 6 to 8
so
fight
just
contract.
For people who don't know, 4-man is a 4-man competition, like a little elimination round robin type thing, and then you'll have a final of the 2 winners of each fight, and then
we'll then fight on them.
Yeah.
We'll fight in the main event. So
if you get to top 10, is there like a clause in your contract that says that they've got to like pay you more for the fights, or that you get on bigger cards or on main cards? Or?
Yeah, so it's just more so like with each fight, my pay goes up. Okay, and then with the 4-man, it's double. So if you make it to the final, you get a runner-up prize, or you get double of what you're meant to be earning. And then by then, that is like your cap, basically. So wherever you sit there afterwards is what you get paid to walk in the next fight. And then being in top 10, then they double it. So my fight is, I walk in with an entry, and then if I win, I get double. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So then I get that twice if I win the 4-man. And then whatever my end result was is where I start. Does that make sense? My next fight.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like my base is the same, and then if I win that, it's double, and then I move on again.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm getting close to the point. I think I'm probably, I really want to say I'm a year away of living my dream of being just a professional fighter.
Yeah.
I think that, that's everyone's goal, just to make a living out of this. And that's what I've been fixated on the most, is that if I continue to live the way I am now, I'll be able to live and breathe off the money that I'm making.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. So you're not even in your physical peak yet.
No.
So I'd say a year off, and then you'd be starting that journey.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's what's driving me the most, is that this is like not even just my goal, but this is everyone's goal as a fighter, is to be able to just live off fighting and just be able to live off their passion for it. I just want to do that for maybe 1 or 2 years. I don't care if doesn't have to be a lifetime, because fighting is like such a short period of time, in your life. I just want to be able to do it for 1 or 2 years. I want to be able to say that I did that. You know what I mean? And then from then, I don't really care. Like I always have small goals. I don't really have really big goals. I want to do things like that are in front of me that I think that I can do straight away, and I just push myself to do it.
Get 100%. That Porsche.
That's it. Get that push, and I just keep them. I want that push.
Yeah.
I want that push. I want that push.
Well, I think that one of the big things, obviously, is creating a fan base, and I think that you are in a good position in that regard, because you're very charismatic when you're fighting. Man. You're very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
You've got Australia on your side, because there aren't too many Australians performing at a high level in Glory.
Yes.
So if we can get a bit more sort of coverage of you, that would be great. And I think that as you keep fighting, people will sort of learn, oh, okay, Glory exists too. Because people watch UFC and maybe Bellator, maybe ONE FC, but they don't really watch Glory. I find Aussies like...
Yeah, I found I don't know why it doesn't hit that level. Like
I think that it's just because UFC is the ultimate marketing god, and it's like people think that those are like the baddest dudes. However, with Glory, you've got the best stand-up fighters in the world.
Yes.
And you guys don't necessarily have the grappling pedigree, but I sometimes think that people who only want to see knockouts in UFC and they get angry when wrestling happens.
Yeah, right.
Go watch Glory.
Exactly. I don't get it.
This is just pure stand-up.
Like how good is a head kick KO? Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, and you get all of that in Glory.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Savages as well.
Yeah, we're crazy. We're psychos. I think every fighter is a psycho. I don't know who wants you're not right. I know I'm not right. I know I'm not right. Where
you do have to have a few screws to want to get in the ring and go to war like that.
Exactly. I find that you just have to be crazy to do it. And if you want to see the best crazy stand-up fights, you have to watch Glory. You gotta and watch all the good fights. Not even just the main events, but they're all good. The cards are always stacked from bottom, from for the prelims all the way up to the middle card, all the way to the end. They're all good fighters.
And they throw good shows as well.
Yeah, they're always large.
There's good little theatrics as well going on.
That's it. And
there's always different countries versus different countries.
Right.
They do the four-mans, and that's such a cool concept.
Man, I can't believe I'm in a four-man. I did one that was again, just another goal of mine. It was just a dream would just be to be part of it. Because a Glory four-man it's what it was. That's what they used to do all the time. They used to just make 8-man, 4-man tournaments, and then the winner of that is the new title holder. I'm like, fuck. Just thinking about it now, I'm just I could do that.
That's epic. I cannot wait to watch it.
Dude, I can't even wait to be part of it. I'm sorry in the moon.
I can't wait to see you smiling walking out there, man. It's
yeah, right. I just just thinking about it now is making me itch. It's crazy.
Another thing I was going to ask you, man, is that as I was saying before, you're very charismatic. You've got that in your corner, the Australian crowd, but then there's also the Filipino as well. You're the Filipino Flash.
Yes.
So do you think that Glory would have events in the Philippines? And if so, would you love to fight there?
That's what we're pushing for. So there was a one time where I was offered, before I was offered Glory, I was offered a 1FC contract, and the fight was meant to be in Manila. And I was frothing basically. That would have been my goal. That was just hey, what if I got to fight in Manila? And that is still a dream of mine to one day be able to do that.
They love their fighters over there, man.
And
Manny Pacquiao's like a god over there.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a god. He's a god. But especially the 1FC card, man, there's so many good Filipino fighters. I think it's in our heritage, it's in our blood that we're just built warriors, and I'm extremely grateful to be Filipino as well as Australian, where Filipinos are very patriotic in the sense they get behind their fighters, they're real into it. For example, prime example is Manny Pacquiao. Now he's wanting to run for governor, and they're accepting that.
Yep.
I'm okay, cool, for sure.
Yeah.
So the Filipino side completely, they are backing me 100%.
And you've been to Philippines a few times, I'm
assuming. Yeah. I've been there a couple of times. I have still family members over there, so would like to see.
Whereabouts in the Philippines?
They're all from Manila.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I've been to, I spent a month in Siargao.
Yeah,
Island,
cool.
The surfing island.
Yeah, cool.
And I went to Cebu for a few days.
Yeah. Palawan and Cebu.
Yeah. I think that Manny Pacquiao was from South Mindanao.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So one of my friends over there was from his town. And they said that every time he was there training, they'd get massive crowds of people just to watch him train. Everyone knew when he was in town because a certain car would roll around.
Yeah, that's it. He's what he does, he gives away a lot of money. Because he didn't grow up very rich, right? He didn't have a lot to his name. He was poor as hell, right? But I think every time he wins, he just gives a lot. He buys a lot of food. He just gives it straight back to the community, and I'd love to be able to do that one day. I think that's an avenue that I've only really thought about lately is what I can do to give back in a sense, especially to the Philippines. And I'm starting to do that now with my martial arts, and I'm still teaching kids all the way up to adults at the gym. But I would like to do something community-based, something I haven't really thought about it now, but in terms of just maybe Australian Muay Thai community, and also something to do with the Philippines. I think that's something that I just want to do. I don't know where I'm going to start or what I'm going to do now, but there's something
Would you
growing.
want to do something in terms of like the kickboxing and Muay Thai community, or would you do something in the wider community with like young men and women who?
I think for me, I've always wanted to start apparel. Like I've always wanted to start clothing. Like I love clothes.
Yeah, you've definitely got style, man.
Thanks, man. Like I've always loved clothes. And I think maybe like something that I've just thought about now is that I could just start clothing and maybe to a charity in the Philippines, or even some charities here as well in Australia, or whatever I make, the proceeds, maybe 10%, 20, 30, will then go to one of them things. That might be a really good idea. Hold me to that, please.
You heard it here first.
Hold me to that, please.
You listen back to this, man. 100%. But yeah, you definitely should. It's so good to have things outside of fighting as well. Like, I think that having a productive sort of outlet as well, something to focus on, so you're not always focusing on fighting all the time. What do you do outside of?
So this is basically me 24/7. I PT from like. I PT in the morning from like 6 to 11, and then I do my training after that. And then I have like maybe a 2-3 hour break before I go back and teach classes and then go back to training.
So fighting is your life.
This is my life right now, and again, like I said before, this is a short window where I got to give it my all. I'm like, at the moment, when I really think about it, I'm giving like 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I really want to bump it up to 4 hours a day. And they're those little goals that I just want to keep building on.
As in for pure straight training?
Pure straight training. And I would say like an hour, that extra hour, I want to like spend time just stretching and preparing,
Man, that's a really good idea. Like my knowledge of this sort of shit is rudimentary.
Yeah.
At very best. But I think that that recovery side of thing is also so important, man.
I'm all for it. Like, I think as I get older, then I'm starting to feel like more tweaks and more pains. I'm not recovering as fast. And I know I'm still young, 26, but I heard like Djokovic, like #1 in the world in tennis, he stretches every day for like 2 hours. And I was like, I should be doing that. And you always feel better after doing something like that as well.
You should just go full Cristiano Ronaldo. That guy spends like hundreds of thousands a week on people. He's got
That's what I want to do.
He's got people in his house who live there, who like help him with absolutely everything. Are you into like the cryogenic stuff or
I'm all for it. Like
float tanks, all that sort of shit.
I am 100%. Like to be honest, I haven't done one in a while, but I think my favorite thing is an ice bath. I used to hate it, but
it sucks.
It sucks. It sucks. Now it's like it's a love-hate relationship. I jump onto it, I get into it, and I'm like, okay, let's start with 2 bags. And then once I really start to feel myself with these ice baths, I'm like, okay, let's make it 3, let's make it 4.
Damn.
I'm always just challenging myself. And then I think I can only push myself to 4 bags of ice in the ice bath. Like, I'm like, but now just putting that limit.
How long do you stay in there for?
I do like 5 to 10 minute sessions.
Do you breathe and like go Wim Hof?
Oh man, I'm just like go straight in. I'm just on the laptop. I got like a fight coming up because I just have to take myself away from it all.
Have something to watch.
Watch, and then I do it like 2 to 3 times. So then I'll sit in it, and then I take a warm shower. This is wasting a lot of water. Luckily, I do it at my parents' house. So I then take a little warm shower, and then I do it again. But if I was lucky, if I was fortunate enough to have one, I'd have a sauna and then just go in between the two.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think there's centers that do, like, I've never been to one, but I think there are centers that do, like, all of that stuff.
Yeah, there's 2. There's one in Berwick, and I think there's one just on Johnson Street in the east side. So
you get some crazy shit like the cryogenic.
Yeah,
I think I'm using the right term. The one's below like, 60 degrees.
No, it's like 130, isn't it?
Some shit like that.
It's ridiculous. And you're in there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, dude. I went
in there last year. I've always wanted to try that, man.
I went in there last year. It was nuts. I was with my friend and like, cause he's an athlete and he does them all the time. And he was like, come with me, come do it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And he was like, I'll pay. And I was like,
I want to do it, man. I want to do it, man. That'd be so good.
We went in there and you're just wearing these gloves, right? So that your fucking hands don't stick to the rest of your body.
Yeah, right.
And it's literally, it looks like you can't really see and everything because it's so cold. It looks like you're in the middle of Siberia.
They need a laser pointer, isn't it? Just to find the exit door or something like that. Like you probably know where the exit is.
Because it was kind of small, so we knew as soon as to get out. And they had like, and I was thinking, this dude who's behind the screen watching has the best job in the world.
Yeah, right. Just like
he's just watching people suffer.
Far out. I'd love that, man. Like I did a float tank. I think that's too long. That's too long in my own thoughts. Yeah.
Float tanks are challenging.
They're hard, man. Like like you have to be so mentally strong. And I find I can either be really mentally strong and be disciplined with what I'm doing when I'm in the float tank, or I just let my mind wander. And sometimes if I'm having bad thoughts while I'm in the float tank, it's the worst. It's the worst place to be.
I'm a big proponent of the float tank, man.
Really?
Yeah. You could probably tell I'm a big Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah. Like, I'm all for it. Like, no, 100% I'm all for it. But you know when you, like, because it's so pitch black and, like, your senses aren't there, right? So, oh, dude.
It can wig you out because you feel like you're kind of having, like, perpetual motion.
Yeah, and, like, you're spinning.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Or even, like, going, like forward, like somersaulting and shit. But I don't know, man. When I first did it, I got like 20 minutes through and I was like, fucking hell. Like, I'm just like literally sitting here thinking. And then I sort of was trying to focus on my breathing, and then I just sort of drifted off somehow.
Yeah.
And I got this feeling like I was like embedded in the water, and I couldn't move, and I felt like I was floating on a cloud. And it had this. It just reminded me of like not like I remember, but like of being in like a womb, like in your mother's womb type thing.
That's kind of crazy. That's crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy.
But it was like I don't know why. But I swear to God, other people have said this too. It's not just me.
Yeah. I gotta do it again then, man. I don't know. I'm not walking into a float tank thinking I'm gonna be back in my mother's room. I'm not doing that.
You gotta have your own experience. That was my experience.
Because like I remember last time, like I gotta fucking do it, don't I? I was like this, and it just felt like I was spinning inside the tub.
Yeah.
I was just going like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'll do it again.
It bugs you out. I became a philosopher in there, bro.
Really? Just having your mental deepest thoughts. It's like,
dude, I was literally solving the whole world's problems by the end of it. I got out there and I was
like what you do in the shower, just like times 4.
Yeah. I thought I was like a Greek philosopher by the time I got out. I was like, I'm enlightened.
Yeah, I'm a whole new person. I want that experience right now.
But it's meant to be real good for muscle recovery, though.
It is. It's like the Epsom salts, right?
Into your bones.
No, I just want to do it for the trip, dude. I live for the trip, man.
Apparently, you eat edibles and then go in there, or if you smoke weed,
it's meant to be fucking like I heard. This is the weirdest, right? I think it was on Joe Rogan. DMT in a float tank.
DMT.
That's fucking crazy.
Has he done that? I'm not sure.
He's done mushrooms.
He's done mushrooms.
He's done the mushrooms.
Tank.
That fucking
DMT.
That'd blow your mind, man. You'd have to be so strong-willed with that.
DMT on its own is like, you don't need no float tank.
Yeah, far out.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. Like seriously, mushrooms and that'd be a fucking trip. Just thinking about that, it's just stupid crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I think you need to be in nature with that shit.
Yeah, right.
If I was in a float tank, I'd lose my mind. That'd be insane. So, a lot of athletes these days are smoking weed for recovery and using CBD oil and all that sort of stuff. I saw that you were sponsored by a CBD company.
Yeah, so I'm on my good friend Rich's CBD Australasia. He's been helping me out with it. For me personally, like I wouldn't say I suffered from anxiety, but I used to just like, when you go for an interview, you just got those nerves, you got those nervous twitches and all that. I feel after taking it, I just don't have them anymore. I sleep better, I wake up a lot better. But I think that was the biggest difference is that when I don't have those nervous thoughts anymore type of thing, or it just calms me down. And I usually... best time I would like to take it, because I heard it's really good for inflammation all over the body. It's just after sparring too. Like, even just for the heart rate, I just have a little shot of it and it just instantly calms me down, I think that's what I look for straight after sparring, especially. It's the complete opposite of being relaxed. It's the most stressful place to be in. But that's probably why I take the most, is just how much more chilled out I've been and how much more clarity I have, really.
As in after or before?
Afterwards. Afterwards. Like, yeah, I think
you can get a bit rattled afterwards, hey? Like when you're sparring and stuff.
Yeah, because sparring, especially your heart rate's through the roof, you're thinking
high levels
100%.
Of concentration.
That's it. It's an extremely stressful area. And then with sparring, it can become a very emotional area too, where if you get way too frustrated and you get to become too emotionally involved in sparring, you ruin your game, man. You can do good 12 rounds, but if you're like filled with emotion, and you're just getting beaten up. It's just not that great.
And if you're not executing what you're trying to do as well.
Yeah, like Andre Ward said it on a Joe Rogan podcast. He was saying that, man, me having a lazy day is going in for 12 rounds, but not sticking to the game plan, not working all of that. And I completely believe in that. If I'm doing rounds and rounds of sparring and I'm getting hurt, or I'm just trying to, like, I'm just too angry, too frustrated, there's no benefit from it, if that makes sense. Like, this is work to me now, and like every time I get hit,
you're not able to practice the things and implement the things.
That's it. It's all about craft, and if you get way too emotionally involved, you lose that, and it's a waste of time. Basically, you're getting hurt. Like my longevity, especially that. I'm going to be doing this until what? I'm 30, 35.
Yeah.
But then I still want a life after that. I still want to live till I'm 90.
Yeah,
and be
you
able
still
to
want to be
cognitively
functional.
Exactly. So
physically as well. With the, with kickboxing as well, your legs and your body and everything gets beaten up quite a bit.
That's it. Like, I found CBD is just helping me get back to that state afterwards.
Are you taking it as like a capsule or?
Taking it, so I have the oil, so I just take it.
I've heard so much about it, but I've never actually seen it. Like,
yeah, so I just take it with the oil, just a little drop straight into my tea or water or whatever I'm having, and instantly just relaxation, man.
Is that right? It's just a little drop.
Just a little drop, just drop in, bang, and then just relax.
Is it like you feel it level you out?
Not really. I would say just like, not like instantly, but I think it just helps. It could even just be a placebo, but like I have something that's just helping me calm down again, right. Just straight after training, whatever I drink, well. Especially just after sparring. I just don't want that inflammation, man. I don't want to feel like cloudy in the head. And if it's going to help me recover that a lot faster and get me to that state, then for sure. Because as soon as I'm relaxed, completely relaxed, then I can go on with my day and act like as if nothing's happened. You know what I mean? Then it should always be like that with training for me, especially. Like, once I'm in there for like 2 to 3 hours, okay, let's do this. But after that, it should just switch off.
And the sparring shouldn't affect the rest of your night.
That's it. Like I should be able to continue on with the rest of it. I shouldn't have to continue thinking about it. Or if it's stressing me out, then be able to vent it and quickly move on from the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that's just what it's helped me to do. Like, go to bed at night. Like sometimes, like especially getting close to the fight, you have a lot of nerves going through your body, and you just want to just chill out for a bit, and that's it. That's where I want to head,
Yeah. I mean, with the fight game and what you're doing, it's such a roller coaster. It's such an emotional roller coaster. It's a physical roller coaster as well. Before the fight, you've obviously some days you might feel low. Sometimes you might feel on top of the world. You saw Darren Till, who was a UFC fighter the other day.
He's the best, man. He's the best. He's like
a cool guy,
he's
man.
Straight up like, nah, I ain't fighting that guy. Like, he's so real.
But he
scares
said
the shit out of me.
Yeah, about Yoel Romero?
Yeah.
But then, like, before the fight, he also said, I was even thinking about faking an injury because he'd lost his last 2 fights. And I was shitting myself. And I was telling my coaches, like, I'm so nervous thinking of, and like, to see that level of like honesty is quite refreshing.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he's probably, that's the most confident thing ever, be able to do that, like not fake it at all. That's why like Darren Till's the man, because he's just straight up like, I ain't fighting Yoel Romero. Look at he's like this, he's an angel of God, or was it like soldier, whatever?
Soldier of God.
It's just like, and he looks like this, just like he'd been knocking people out. Hell nah. Yeah. To be like, to be that real, like that's on that level, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it must be so difficult as a professional fighter, because everything leads up. It's like in a 9-to-5 job or in a regular job, you sort of just you can coast more, but with what you're doing, it's like everything leads up to this pinnacle, which is the fight day.
You have to compress everything, all your emotions.
And how do you possibly get there and then sort of stay level? You know?
Like I always found, like working hard, for example, was for me is to have as much control as I can over everything that I can control. So, for example, I have to control my diet, make sure I'm eating correctly, and this will be coming down to discipline. But my training routine as well, I have to make sure that I get everything that I need to do in the morning, as well as what I have to do at night. And then also my mental preparation, just control my thoughts, make sure everything is extremely positive before walking in there. Because the only thing that you can control in the ring is what you do, so is yourself. And that used to play a massive factor on myself, where I used to think that I could control the other guy. And then that used to put a lot of stress on me. Like, I need to be able to do this so that I can put him in this position. But
interesting, but you can't
I can't dictate what he does. But now it's more probably trying to explain the same situation, but I would talk to myself and be like, no, I want to hit him like this so that he will move in that position, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know? So I want to,
rather than preempting that's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Do that.
Yeah, because then I'm just assuming, and then that would just put me in a really stressful position. But if I was like, okay, I need to continually work my jab or throw my round kick so that he will move in a certain direction, then I have control over it. Then I can push forward for that.
Awesome.
So then I would always, before walking into the ring, why I think I only learned this recently. That's why I was so comfortable with my last fight, was that whatever I can do in my control, I'm going to make sure that I can do it, so that I can get, if I give my 100%, then I don't care if I win, lose, or draw. Yeah. But if I allow him to take that away from me, then I don't have control. Then I start to feel those insecurities, and I start to feel, right. Does that make sense?
So visualization is like quite a big part of what you do as well?
100%. Like, even like people say like visualization should be just meditation, and you know, you just sit there and you think about it and replay the fight. I like shadowbox everywhere. I shadowbox everywhere, like wherever.
My friends even get in the kitchen, fucking annoyed at me.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll be doing the dishes. Like, my missus Alex, she catches me all the time. She might like sneak around the door and just catch me, just like doing these ones, wash the dishes, doing these ones again, and then like I'll just cooking, or even in the supermarket. Yeah, right. I got you, recross. But yeah, like for me, what I think visualization is I think about the fight, but then I'm talking to people about the fight, and I like communicating. I like having other people's opinion about it. And I like just talking about it, making it a real thing. Like, even just talking about where I'm going to be. I'm like, dude, I'm fighting in China. Like, holy shit. Just thinking about just fighting in China and being able to tell that.
Do you know what kind of a stadium you're going to be fighting at?
It's the Shenzhen Bay Arena. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I think it's like 2,000 people.
Man, I know the Chinese, they've got some crazy sports, some crazy like game shows.
They're crazy, stuff. Man.
But in terms of fighting, do they, like, because Weili Zhang, who's a UFC fighter,
yep,
was the main event of a Chinese card a few months ago, and she won the women's strawweight title.
She was having issues too with visas as well.
Really?
Yeah. She wasn't allowed into America because, again, she couldn't, for some reason, couldn't prove that she's bantamweight, isn't it?
Yeah, something like, I think she was strawweight.
Yeah, she's a strawweight champ, but she still couldn't get in. She was having issues. She was making polls and for help to get her into America, because America wouldn't let her in. But she's the strawweight champ. No one else can be the strawweight champ except her.
Really?
Yeah, and she was having issues too.
Man, yeah, even Darren Till had issues last week.
Like, come on, man. Trump, just let us in, man.
Yeah. Apparently, Trump got contacted directly. That's what Darren Till said. I don't know if he's talking shit, but apparently Trump just...
But he's real. He's a man. He's real.
He is, man. But Weili Zhang, what I was saying, when she fought that event in China a few months ago, the Chinese were out in force.
Really?
Yeah, they were going mental, man. So
man,
if you fight a Chinese person, you might expect a bit of... I mean, I think they're quite a polite. They're not like, you know, if you go and you fight American.
But I heard it's crazy. I heard it's super crazy.
Or Brazilians, bro. Apparently
they're dirty. They're like real savages.
The crowd will be like, you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Like, I heard, who was it? There was an interview with a fighter. It was in Brazil, and they were fighting Brazilian. They were walking out and they were getting spat on, abused. Just you didn't.
I interviewed Alex Volkanovski. Do you know Alex Volkanovski?
Yeah.
So I interviewed him.
That's cool.
Yeah, not on this, unfortunately. I'd love to get him on. But it was at like before UFC 243 in Melbourne. There was a dinner, and I interviewed him and Jimmy Croute and some of those guys. And I was asking him about what it was like to go and fight Jose Aldo.
Yes.
And he was saying that they were all chanting, "You're going to die, you're going to die, this, that." But then once he beat Jose Aldo...
They're all foreign, aren't they?
They were like, showed him his respect and stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. He's one mentally strong dude. Volkanovski.
Yeah, right. Man, just being on the level, like, but again, like I always think being mentally strong for me is just, I just love what I'm doing, you know. I could not ask for anything better, you know. This is what everything I've always asked for. So now it's been given to me. Of course, I'm just going to make sure I do everything I can to obtain it and make it my own, you know.
I think from talking to you, man, it's so good to see that you've got like a lot of gratitude, and you've also got an understanding of where you are right now. You're not taking things for granted.
Yeah.
And you're understanding that this is your time. You've got, you know, you're got to give the most that you can right now. You've still got your physical peak to come. Yeah. You're very grateful of where you are, and it's awesome to see that you're so level-headed about things. Your feet are well and truly on the ground.
Thanks, my man. Like I just, this is everyone's dream. And then I would never really even thought like this would happen. Like if you asked me 10 years ago when I first started, hey dude, you're gonna be fighting in Las Vegas, France, you know, Germany, and then you'd be signed to one of the biggest kickboxing promotion in the world. I look at you and just laugh at your face, you know. Just like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah. Like, I'm doing this because I just like punching on, you know.
Will I have a Porsche though?
Yeah. I'm like, do I have a Porsche though? Right? Or like, it's still, for me, like I was thinking on the way here on the podcast, I was just like, holy shit, I'm being invited to do a podcast, you know, or I've been able to travel the world, and I'm just like, I'm still shocked and surprised with where I've come. I don't think it will ever really settle in that I am doing what I'm doing. And I think that's probably, it's always just like a shock to me. It's always been a surprise to me. And I find that's what keeps me going too. I'm like, how much can I just surprise myself?
Hopefully you stay that way. And I think it might be dangerous to think like that your shit doesn't stink because you're like doing whatever, rather than being like, oh man, it's so good to be here, having that gratitude, it's understanding where you've come
crazy.
from.
I don't even know. I'm still like I'm shook right now just thinking about it. Dude, I'm fighting in a 4-man in China. Like when Hammer sent me the message that, hey dude, we're fighting in China, you're in a 4-man. I'm like, excuse me? Like I couldn't breathe for like a good 5 minutes. I was just looking at my phone like, nah, it's not real. Nah, it's not real.
That's so cool, man.
It's not real.
It just shows that like you're so excited about it, you genuinely love it, and fight fans like myself, like that's how I feel about like watching fights and stuff. So to see somebody like you're so giddy about it, like excited, like a fight fan,
it's fucking crazy.
It gives that like real human touch to the guys that we actually watch go to war, rather than them as like vessels of destruction.
Like I was always thinking growing up, I was looking at like I wanted to be the Mike Tyson, or I wanted to be a killer in the ring, and then it just didn't suit me. I was just looking at myself. I'm like, I'm not a bad person. I wish I could sell myself as like a villain, or you know, one of those bad guys. I just can't do it. Like you tell me you like me, I just smile like this big, ear to ear. You tell me a 1, I'm like, no, I gotta look stern as. I can't help it. I just can't help it, you know? Like I'm just shocked. Yeah, I'm just extremely shocked, more surprised that I am in the position that I'm in, you know? And I've worked hard to be here, but at the same time, I'm just like, fuck, man, this is fucking crazy, and I'm riding this roller coaster, you know?
Awesome. Well, I won't keep you too much longer, man. I've got one more question for you.
Sure.
Because I know you're a busy boy, you have to get to training soon, but what was it like training with Jimmy Croute when he was down at Hammers?
So Jimmy Croute, he's like a roller coaster himself. You know? He's the best. He's your best friend. He's like, yeah, he's your best friend. We could have real good chats. It's always been good to have him here, and like to be able to train with him. I think first off, training with him, he's like is he 95 kilos?
Yep.
He's 95
I think he fights
kilos.
at 94. Sometimes he walks around like 100. I think.
Yeah, of muscle.
Yeah. He's thick. I had him on last week.
Yeah.
He's thick.
Yeah. He's 95 kilos of muscle. So first thought training with him is, nah, fuck that. So no, he's frightening. But what's most intriguing about him is that if you tell him that he's doing something wrong, he's able to change it instantly. So I think Hammer told him that his left hand was low during pads at one stage. And then the following day, he had like an 80% improvement with his guard. right? And I think that was the most intriguing part about him, that how quickly he was able to adapt and change. And I think to be at that level, of course, you have to give that amount of dedication. But when sparring him, he was just like me, where he got very competitive very quickly. In a sense, if you hit him, he's going to hit you. He's going to try and get it back 2, 3, 4 times. So if I was his weight class, I think it would be the best sparring partner. But just because of mentally, he was just he's so disciplined, so strong in that sense. But it's just a bit too big for me.
Yeah, man, fuck, way too big.
I was like, what's up, man?
Dreaming.
How you going? I'm like, I weigh half your arm, so yeah. Cool.
But as I was saying before, like, as you were saying, actually, he's big boy, right?
Yeah.
But when you watch him, he's very explosive. And that's the thing that I find very interesting about him, is that he's got these really explosive kicks. He explodes forward.
Yeah.
That sort of semi-recklessness has worked in his favor on the Aussie scene.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's fucking exciting, bro.
Yeah, well, it is, man. And it worked, and he's starching people on the Aussie scene. And then in the UFC as well, people were getting really excited. Obviously, he lost his last fight,
didn't he? But
23 years old.
I heard he was winning that, wasn't he? And then he just got caught out. Submission, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was smashing the fight too.
He was beating him, and he had him on the floor. And then I think he just forgot his ground game a little bit. But I think Jimmy Croute has such a big future.
Oh, 100%.
And he's an awesome dude.
And he's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Like I said before, like, we just talk shit on the side of the ring.
Yeah.
But as soon as it comes to training, I think we both have that mental switch where when it comes to training, you just have to give it everything you got, right? And if you get a shot at me or if you get a shot at him, he's going to give it back 3 times the fold.
Yeah.
Right? But if we were more on a level playing field at 100%, I think it would be sparring more regularly.
Did you notice his athleticism much?
100%. Like,
I always looked at him like, man, when I met him, I was like, how are you throwing
he pops, like, he's got this crazy left hook. It just goes, like, seriously, just short, straight to the point. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I would find the most interesting part about him was that when he was told that he was doing something wrong, it was how quickly he was able to adapt and change. And that's something I would love to learn for myself, to be able to do it so erratically and so straight to the point. Because if I was able to do that, I put in the same amount of time and effort that I was now with that type of adaptation, man, I reckon I'd be on a whole different level, if that makes sense. Yeah. Well, no wonder he's in the UFC. No wonder he's killing it too.
Yeah, he's doing fucking well. What about Ramesh?
Ramesh, man, like,
seems like a straight killer.
He's like, yeah, he's the man. He's the lion fight world champ. Yeah. I think that's the best way to explain it. He's a fucking world champ. But when we were coming up, he was on my radar. I'm like, Ramesh, I was gonna get you. We were gonna fight. Like, that was just one of my things that I wanted to do. And then after training with him, after we both were making it big for ourselves, and he became one of my main training partners, I'm just like, dude, I don't want this every week. No, but he's again good, best of buds now. Like, we train every week, once a week. We've had a really good, strong relationship. And like I said before, with everyone making all these moves for these international promotions, collectively, all the fighters are coming together now, where we used to be competition. Now, because everyone's moving off onto the world, they're my sparring partners. It's just only making the sport better. But yeah, Ramesh, on a good day, it's always 50-50 when we're training. It's always, and because we're both so competitive, it's just like, who's got the upper hand now? And it's only making us better. I think he's played a massive impact and a massive role into my training, into my abilities, especially for this year with the kickboxing. I wouldn't be where I am without the man. So
awesome, man.
All for it.
And you have got an awesome team around you. I can't wait 100%. To come and check out Hammer's gym one of these days.
Come down, do some rounds.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, and then a float tank. And then a float tank afterwards.
Anyways, River, thank you so much.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for having me.
Good luck with your fight. And everybody get on Hari, Hari, River Daz on Instagram. Go follow the man. He's doing big things. Yep. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.